What's up, dudes? HW here. How you doing? Beautiful, beautiful morning up in Nashville. Just hanging out in the studio. I kind of got to clean up because I got boxes everywhere. Let me slurp again. Listen, let me slurp again so we get all the lemmings out of the chat who go, HW, I hate it when you slurp. Hey, bro. Why don't you come blow on this coffee, all right? All right, you know what I'm saying? Why don't you come blow on this coffee, brother? Blow me coffee. That would be helpful to do right now. Just hanging out this morning, and I picked up this old Telecaster. I bought this years ago at Real Guitars in San Francisco. Now, I don't know if Real Guitars in San Francisco is there anymore. I hope it is, but I don't think it is. Because Gary Brower's stringed instrument repair was in the back. And back in the day, man, Gary Brower worked on Kirk Hammett's guitar, Joe Satriani's guitar. Probably did Steve Vai stuff. I don't really know where Steve Vai lives these days. I think he's down in L.A. He did a lot of people's guitar. Neil Schoen stuff was in there. And all the guys, all the San Francisco dudes, you know what I mean? Doug Doppler and just everybody kind of knew Gary Brower's was it. And I've talked about Gary Brower's before. Gary always did amazing work. Maybe he still is doing some work. I don't really know. I haven't kept up. But they were one of the first to have a Plek machine in the United States. You know, now you can order a guitar off like, you know, Musician's Friend or whatever, Sweetwater. Is Musician's Friend a thing? Sweetwater, and you can like, you know, click a little button and get it plecked. But this was like, whoa, lasers. You know what I'm saying? It was like that year. It was that era. It was like it was before the financial crisis. You know what I mean? This is like pre-08. And there was like, you know, whoa, there's a machine that sends a laser down the guitar. So I walk into Real Guitars one day, and my buddy Fernie Rod played in a band called Jet Boy, and he did some other stuff too. But Fernie Rod, who, man, I wouldn't be here without Fernie Rod. Fern was like the first tone junkie I ever knew. When that guy was giving me guitar lessons, I remember he was the type of guy, he had this little like Honda CRX, and the bumper fell off. And it just had like no front bumper. And then for a while, he like had a replacement bumper, but he didn't attach it, so it just like sat in the back seat of his car. But you know what? He had a sweet Custom 24. You know what I'm saying? That kind of guy. The guitar was worth more than the car. Now, I told a story a while back. I was in an era where that was true, too. I had a couple of guitars that were worth more than my car. Fern, I don't know if he's ever had a car worth more than his guitars. You know what I'm saying? So that guy's like the OG tone junkie, man. One of the first ones I ever really knew, ever really met. Anyway, so I go into the shop, and Fernie Rod's working there. He would work there a couple days a week. Like, I think he would work. They were closed Mondays, I think. So Fernie would be there Tuesdays. Like Tuesday and Wednesday he worked, you know. And so I'd go in there, and all the dudes who worked at this shop, they were all just gigging dudes, you know what I mean? One of them was like the bass player in the Mermen. And anyway. So I go in there, and he goes, Johnny, you want to see my new guitar? I mean, first thing, I like walk in the door. You know, you open the door, ding, ding, ding. You know, Johnny, you want to see my new guitar? Nah, whoa, you got a new guitar? What is it? You got it here? He's like, it's right there. Now, this guitar is sitting there with the price tag on it, meaning Fernando had not actually purchased the guitar yet. I guess he's just telling everybody as they walk in, want to see my new guitar, like nobody buy it, right? Or it was a great sales pitch, because guess what happened next? I sit down, I play this guitar, and this thing has a beautiful old like V neck. And it's, you know, it's all worn back here. And obviously it's a relic. And it's got a dirty input jack, but whatever. It kind of adds to the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the video is about. The video today is about guitars that just have mojo. You know what I'm saying? Guitars that just have the mojo, man. And guitars that are like quirky and weird and aren't perfect, you know? It's mojo is like when guitars have a lot that works and then like some little idiosyncratic stuff that is like overshadowed by the stuff. You know what I mean? It's like this guitar has just a good feel. It just feels like steel and wood in my hands, man. And I'll be honest with you, I like a lot of the import stuff we're getting out of China, and I like all this stuff. Ain't nothing got this. Ain't nothing got this feel. Man, this just feels like Grandpa made it in a wood shop. Like it's got a story to tell. You know what I mean? Like there's a, there's like a, you know, you ever hear a voice? A singer, like a voice, and it just sounds like there's 1,000 years in that voice. Some guitars have that, man. And that's the thing. These pickups to me, anyway, wait, back to the story. So Fernie tells me that's his new guitar. I go, oh shoot. So I pick it up, I play it. I go, dude, I love this thing. And I was in a band at the time, and I was playing this SG. And me and the other guitar player, he was a singer too. We had like matching SGs. Mine was a Bernie, his was a Gibson, and but mine was better. Still is. I still got mine. He lives in Paris now. He works at an animal cafe. People like bring in their birds and stuff, and they drink coffee. And he has like a bike with a giant basket in the front, but it like sits on the floor because he has a dog. And the dog gets in, and then they go pick up the milk from like a local la passe. I don't know what they say in French. And then they go to the thing in Paris. His name's Lee. Hell of a guy. Weird life, but whatever. I FaceTimed with him the other day. Dude looked like he lived in a storybook. He was just biking around with his dog, showed up at work, and they were like steaming milk, and a lady had like a parrot, and she was like, oh, bonjour, you know. I was like, what? It's like we're having very different coffee experiences, man. So, you know, it's like sometimes you meet that guy with the old raspy voice and you just hear it. You know what I mean? You know, you hear it. You hear that like his brother got the draft deferment, but he went. And it sucked. And he doesn't talk about it. And you hear like the regret and the disappointment. You know what I mean? You hear the stuff that only comes with life. Sometimes guitars have just a little bit of that. You know what I mean? And one of the things I like about this guitar is the pickups are rather unbalanced, which isn't something I noticed at the time. Because I picked it up, I played it in the shop there, and Fernie was like, yeah, man, I'm going to play that on a Sunday. And I was like, I was like, dude, can I borrow this and play it on a gig? And he was like, yeah, you know. And I played it, and I brought my guitar in. I had some other guitar I was like getting repaired or something. That was like back in the days I had all these different guitars, and I was always hunting for like something, but I'd buy and sell them because, you know, only the great ones would stick around. And so I'm like playing that guitar. And he's helping some other customers. Other people walk in, you know, and Gary's like, hey, Fernie, got the, you know, and they're talking and stuff. And I go, hey, Fern, hey, man, you going to buy this thing? Because if you don't, he's like, you know what, Johnny? If you want it, you get it. Looking back, I think it was a giant sales pitch. But Fern only worked in the instrument business in the back. He didn't even work in the front, but he probably was a hell of a sales guy for them over those years. But anyway, so I went to the front. I said, hey, man, I want to buy this guitar. And he said, okay, sounds good. And he said, the guy said, you know, we did like a cash deal. And so I went and got some cash, came back, and I said, by the way, what brand? It had a Fender logo on it. But it was a decal that someone put over the finish. And so that decal slowly just flaked off, like a water slide decal that was over the finish, not underneath. So it just flaked off over time, had just the F for a little while, which I thought was cool. And I always thought about getting another name and putting it on there. Maybe I'll put a Tone Junkie, a little sticker on there. That'd be cool. And it came in a Gibson case, like a Gibson gig bag. And I said to the guy, I said, hey, do you know what brand this is? And he goes, I think it's a Big Tex. I was like, okay. And I've just always believed him. I think these are Lawlers. I don't really know. But they're kind of like misbalanced a bit. So the bridge sounds like a tele, sounds like this. Playing a deluxe reverb. If I roll that, oh, and also this plate is obviously switched around, which I think is amazing. Every tele should be like this, in my opinion. That's why. I don't know. I don't really do that, but anyway, I guess you could. But I always like it there because I like to turn it off real quick and I don't get confused. You know what I mean? And I don't have a hard time reaching back here. So I think that's how all teles should be set up. But that's the old trick. But so the bridge sounds like that. It's just an old deluxe reverb. When I wanted it to sound a little more like with some gain, when I want it to sound a little less like a tele, I just would roll back the tone, you know? And then you get like this. There's always like a brassy sound to the brass saddles, you know? Especially if you pick down there, but... But I always felt like if you roll down that tone, you get a little more thickness, and I always like that. But sometimes I leave it up, you know? You know, almost like, it's not Gibson-y, but kind of. I think that's really beautiful. Now, what I always liked was the middle position was real clear. Take the tube screamer off. Just a little walk down thing, you know? But the neck, man, the neck was always like overly dark. You know what I mean? So... it's like full. And now here's the bridge. Neck again. Now, within just the context of itself, I always loved that it sounded good. But over all the years that I've had this guitar, whenever I would compare it to another tele, I always noticed this neck is quite a bit darker than other tele necks. And that may or may not have something to do with, you know... I love the middle position on this guitar. Hear how it's a little bit, just listen to the bridge. Now here's the neck. Just a little on the woofier, dead side, but you know what? I have actually found it to be a really wonderful quirk of this guitar and really gives it its own voice. I really love it with a little bit of overdrive. I don't know. I get lost in play. I forgot I was recording there for a little bit. I really, really have always just loved that sound. And it's why this guitar is one of those ones that it's like, I don't even know what I'd get for this guitar. You know what I mean? But it's just got this wonderful pine body. And it's got a Glendale bridge. And I could take my fingernail and I could dent it if I want. So I just dent it. That's how soft the pine is. It's a soft wood, man. For a little while, I tried to whittle. You know what I mean? I got like a whittling knife. I got a pocket knife first and just was whittling with that. Then I went to this like hobby store and got a whittling knife and just a block of pine. And I was gonna I just had my first son. I was like, I'm gonna make him a toy. I'm gonna make him a toy. I'm gonna build him a car. You know what I mean? I was living in San Francisco at the time, so like killing a deer and eating that, you know, wasn't really possible. So instead, I was just like, I'm gonna whittle my son a car, like get in touch with the roots of like my mortality and fatherhood. And I never finished it. Life got away from me. Actually, I cut my finger pretty bad. Hey, that's life, man. That's life, brother. Some people got stories of, trauma and stuff. Some of us cut our finger trying to whittle a little piece of wood and appreciate dark neck pickup. I'll tell you, if that is wrong for a tele neck pickup, and I've compared it to a lot of other ones, I think it's technically a bit wrong. If that's wrong, old HW here, he don't want to be right.